to glory. That will be the greatest scene in golf forever, Jim Nance.
Jimmy Johnson wins his 7th NASCAR Sprint Cup Championship.
All right, well, joining me now is an elite collegiate athlete who was ranked #1 in the country at 126 pounds by Flow Wrestling, number 19 on Flow Wrestling's class of 2019. He's currently a freshman wrestling at the University of Pennsylvania. And let's bring him in right now. Michael Colaiocco joins us. What's up, brother? How are you?
Good. How's it going? Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely, man. It's great to have you here. Thank you so much for taking the time to discuss your already incredibly accomplished athletic career, so to speak. And I want to start at the beginning. I mean, when did you first discover your passion for wrestling and that it was something that you wanted to pursue?
So I started wrestling when I was about 5 years old. My dad never really wrestled, just kind of said, you want to try wrestling? And I was 5 years old, sure. And I really hit it off right away. I loved it. It was like we were little, we did one practice every Saturday morning. So it was like once a week. And every Saturday morning, I'd be the first one at the door. It's not like my dad's waking me up, telling me, are you ready for practice? I was waking him up. My shoes were laid out the night before, and I was looking forward to it all week. So I was just ready to go.
Very good. And throughout that process, I mean, was there a specific moment that you realized, like, damn, I'm really good at this and I can make this a career? Or was it kind of something that you developed in that process?
There was definitely like a switch that flicked off in my head. So, I wrestled through middle school and then through high school, but when I really started turning on was in 8th grade, and my parents have done so much for me. I've been so grateful that they've literally just thrown opportunity after opportunity right in my face. And one thing they did was my 8th grade year, I was a little small and I was going to be too small to wrestle in the first weight class in high school. First weight class is 106. And I was like, 85, 90 pounds my 8th grade year. And they said, well, you know what, we can, if you want to do this, we can hold you back a year and let you grow, let you mature a little bit. And then you can go to high school a year after, so that I'll be big enough to compete at that 106-pound weight class. And during that year, I think I really developed as a person and as a wrestler, and just realizing like how grateful I am for the parents I have and allowing me to do that. And I was just, I was homeschooled that year, so I was able to focus on just training and bettering myself as a whole. And I would watch a ton of film and, think about, a lot of college wrestlers who at the time who I would look up to. And I flipped the switch and I was just like, you know what, like, I'm really going to put everything I have into this because I think I just want to make myself as good as I can. And it was basically that year I was like, I'm going to give it everything I can to make the best out of this. So that was pretty much where I flipped the switch. And then from then on in high school, I really started to enjoy it because I loved not so much the winning, but the process of getting better and how rewarding it can be to work hard and see how much you can earn for yourself.
Absolutely. And I would definitely say that's a defining moment, and you made a great choice right there because your accolades are off the charts. I mean, I'd probably be here for days if I read out every single one of them, but you had a historic career at Blair Academy, Blue Blood Wrestling School, #1 in the country. You were a 4-time Beast of the East champion. I mean, only the 3rd to do so. And how does it make you feel knowing that you walk with the best of the best? And what do you attribute all of that immediate success to?
Everything goes to my family, to my coaches, to my support system. Looking back on it, it's a really good feeling. I never really realized, what was happening as I was going through it, because in my mind it was supposed to happen. I wouldn't think of it any other way. Like that was supposed to happen. But when I look back at it, I realize how grateful I really am, because not everybody has a supportive family that can allow you to be held back for years so that you can develop. Not everyone has the privilege to go to such a great school like Blair Academy, to be surrounded with the people that are there, the athletes that are there, the teachers, the connections you make. So as I look back on it, I'm just, the further and further in the past it is, the more grateful I am for it.
Awesome answer. And now I personally know little to nothing about wrestling, but I've watched videos of you wrestle. I haven't been able to watch you in person yet, but I have watched your tape. And it's almost like an art just watching how you guys go out there, and you're extremely swift and calculated with your moves. I mean, do you train specifically for wrestlers that you're going to be fighting every single week, or do you follow just a general training regimen? What's that process like?
Yeah, so there's definitely a good amount of scouting opponents, especially in the NCAA. When there's a tight duel, and there are certain ways you can wrestle someone, or stylistically, if you match up a certain way, there's different things that you have in your arsenal that you can definitely use against someone who wrestles a certain way. But I would say it's definitely an art form for me. It's a way that I can express myself. I would say I'm more of an introvert, but I think with wrestling, it allows me to express kind of who I am and my style and what kind of person I am. Like, because I really like to just go out there and just throw everything out there. Like, I don't, there's a lot of strategic wrestlers who will hold back, make smart decisions, and of course I need to do some of that. But I like to express myself and just go get it. I like to think of myself as super offensive. I like to be fun to watch, and that's the way I want to express myself to the wrestling world and to anyone who watches me compete.
And being one of the most prospected high schoolers in the country, you ultimately chose University of Pennsylvania. What was most attractive about UPenn as opposed to other wrestling schools?
The coaching staff and the people are phenomenal. I think that's number one. We have the RTC program, which is a regional training center. So for athletes who are no longer competing in college and are chasing their Olympic dreams, they can come to the University of Pennsylvania and train with Coach Slay, who was an Olympic gold medalist in 2000. So that was huge for me, knowing that if I want to take the step after NCAA wrestling and continue to compete, I can roll right into there. That's a great thing to have at UPenn. Additionally, the education is unbeatable. I was lucky enough to be offered a slot at the Wharton School of Business, where I can chase my academic dreams as well as my athletic dreams.
Very nice. And kind of take me through that first day of practice. You walk in as a freshman, having the resume that you had in high school. Did you feel that there was any added pressure because of all of the accomplishments that you had, or did you feel it was just business as usual and you kind of shook all of that stuff off?
No, yeah. I mean, overall, it was a really smooth transition. I think that the coaches definitely help with everything. I have such a great supportive coaching staff. They care about me not only as a wrestler, but as a person. When things go south, they're always there for me not just for the wrestling part of it, but to see how I am as a person. So I didn't really feel pressure. Yeah, it was smooth sailing. I just wanted to make sure that, when I came in, I didn't think I was, king or whatever. Like I was, I don't stink or whatever like that. Like I'm the best here or whatever. I really did not want that to happen because it's not true. I walked in the first day and got beat up a little bit. It's a college wrestling room. College wrestling is much different than high school wrestling. So, my goal coming in freshman year was definitely to make an impact, but not so much, through my words but I'd rather lead by example, I guess. So I just kind of went in, did what I did, trained how I did in high school, gave it my everything, and kind of tried to lead by example. And I know my place on the team. I'm only a freshman. I don't need to be calling people out yet. I kind of just tried to do everything right and did whatever I could to support the team.
Great. And you've had basically a year under your belt now, both as a student and as a collegiate athlete. So tell me, how difficult was it or is it now to balance your academic career with your wrestling career? Because, I mean, between maintaining your weight and training and keeping your grades up, it seems like a lot to be able to handle at once. So how has it been being able to balance those two personas?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, it was tough, and we knew that it was going to be tough coming in, going to an Ivy League school and wrestling a Division I schedule. But I was ready for it. I was prepared. But they always told me the hardest part was getting in. The work was done. The hardest part was getting myself into a position where I can come to a school like that and compete. And they were right. I mean, it's difficult, but I've faced a ton of challenging things throughout my life. And it's all about time management. And a lot of the coaches at Penn really instilled that within us, and they kind of taught us how to set up our own schedule. They made sure that we weren't stressed out. We knew where to go when we needed help. So they kind of made sure that we were doing well as a person and as a student, and so in order that we can compete to our best. Because no one's going to compete their best knowing they have stuff going on in their head. They got to write this paper. They got to do that. So they really helped us manage our time, make sure we're on track, so that we can really, once we're out on the mat, we have a clear brain and we can really compete with all that we have. But I was happy all year. It was hard, but I was happy.
Great. Now, one thing that I love about your attitude is that you pride yourself on execution and progression and not necessarily the results. I mean, your comments that you've made throughout this definitely exhibit that. So why is that important to your performance as a wrestler? Do you find that focusing too much on results will result in poor performance? Do you have personal experience with that? Talk to me a little bit about that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it definitely adds more pressure. You got to take things step by step. When you're going through a whole tournament, you can't think about, the third period of your finals match, because you got a tough opponent right off the bat. You got 5 matches until you get to that point. So you can't overlook anyone. And I think that when you immediately try to put the result before everything that comes before it, you're going to lose sight of what you need to do to get there. So if you really want the result, it's kind of weird, but you can't focus on it. You have to focus on doing what it takes day to day, the little things. So it's the small things that you can control, right away, every single day. What am I doing today? What am I doing tomorrow? Not, I want to be a national champ. I want to be a national champ. I want to do this. I want to do that. You need to focus on doing things right and focusing on the small things that are right in front of your face, because the little things will add up in the end. So, but I think it definitely, takes away the pressure when you're just focusing on doing things right instead of the result.
Definitely. Now, you finished ranked number 13 in the country. You flirted with the top 10 a number of times, but obviously the season did not end as expected with this whole coronavirus. So describe your emotions when the tournament was called off and how you've been handling this transition.
Yeah, man, it was really tough, and I'm sure all 330 of the other athletes that qualified the NCAAs are feeling the same way. But I mean, you train for 15 years of your life. You've been thinking about this for 15 years of your life. You're putting everything into it, and you finally get there only to have it, ripped out from under your feet. And, it hurts for a while, and I've had a lot of time to reflect, especially with this whole quarantine. But I just figured that it's more adversity that I just need to overcome, and it'll make me stronger in the end. It's not going to help to dwell on it. It's not going to help to feel down about it. I just need to let this drive me and to make me better, if that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm sure you've been using a lot of this time at home to further prepare yourself to get back on the mat in your sophomore year. So are you feeling hungrier to get out there because your freshman year was cut a little bit short?
Absolutely, bro. I'm dying to get on the mat. You have no idea. We've been stuck home. I've been lifting, I've been running, I've been doing what I can, but I'm dying to roll. And I just realized how much I really love the sport, and how my life without wrestling, I mean, it would kind of suck. I mean, it's doing what you love. It's just so much fun to me, especially being able to give my all out there. So, I mean, it's given me time to realize how grateful I am that I'm healthy enough to wrestle, that, I'm at the University of Pennsylvania. I've been given so many opportunities, and I just need to realize that how lucky I am and that I can take advantage of these.
Absolutely, man. Well, you've had a storied career up to this point, and it looks like you're going to only further that in your college career. So before I let you go, I just want to know, throughout everything that you have accomplished throughout your entire career up to this point, when you look back, is there anything that you would have done differently? If not, then kind of where do you see yourself over these next 5 years, especially after your time at UPenn is done?
Yeah, man, I wouldn't change a thing. I'm happy the way everything has gone. Even the bad things. I think, sometimes adversity is just a blessing in disguise. So, yeah, I wouldn't change a thing. And as for the next 5 years, my goal is to be a national champion. I have 3 shots at it. That's in the NCAA. So I truly believe that I will get there. I will do what it takes, And but that being said, I can't focus on the results. I can just focus on what I can do day in and day out. But yeah, I definitely plan to compete after college. So, I give it 3 shots at the NCAA championships. And then after that, we'll see where that takes me. But I definitely plan on competing for the PRTC. So.
Awesome. Well, look, keep your head on straight, and I'm sure that you're going to find even more success. You have a great attitude, and it was really awesome getting your thoughts here today. So I want to thank you so much for the time. I wish you the best of luck in the future. Hope I could see you out on the mat one day, but we thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Hey, thanks again for having me.